back, guys, to the Table Podcast. We are so excited to have the second season of the Table. Man, it has been a journey to get here, I think. But I want to introduce my co-host today.
Yeah.
This is Curly.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everybody already knows.
But we have a brand new co-host, and his name is Brandon Kelley.
What's happening, guys?
So
It's an honor to be here. I'm super stoked for this new season.
Yeah.
A lot of big things in store. We've kind of had some dreams and some vision for this new year.
Yeah.
And we're ready to see where it takes us.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think we've had a lot of testimonies. At the end of this that last season, we had a lot of things kind of take place, and our platform started to kind of grow a little bit in some areas. And so I've heard from people that they've been listening and watching our podcast, and dude, we are just so thankful, that people take the time to listen to me, because, I feel like sometimes we just do it and we don't know if anybody listens.
Or really even cares.
Yeah. I appreciate it. I really do. So, but man, I'm just super excited for this new year.
Yeah.
And man, it's been really cool. So we're going to be talking about kingdom connections today, and just the word connect. I think that's really that's been a word that has been on my mind a lot recently, especially relationships itself. Not just talking about relationships with, a soulmate or a partner, but relationships in general is the topic we're going to be hitting on the rest of this month. We're going to be pumping out as much content as we can for you guys. Yeah. But just going off of the word connect, Brandon, you want to kind of...
Yeah, so in case you guys are wondering, we are all wearing our new shirts from Holy One Clothing. And shout out to Holy One Clothing.
Shout out.
Our newest partnership. And
yes,
guys, we are so excited. They sent us these dope shirts.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Man, we are just we're excited to be partnered with them and promoting their brand, promoting their vision, and shout out to my boy Michael.
Yeah, Michael.
Michael Jackson is his name.
I know, what a name, huh?
Yeah. Awesome. So man, we're excited to be partnering with them, and whenever we were just kind of looking for someone to bring on to the podcast to just highlight their merch, he popped out. I seen him on Instagram, and I was like, man, that's a cool brand. And so shot him an email, and immediately, he kind of hit me right back, and then we got to talking, and then we had like a long conversation with him, and he's in youth ministry. We're all kind of in youth ministry. And, it fit. It all worked together, and he is a man after God's heart, and so it's going to be a cool partnership to see. And he's got more merch on the way for us. So I'm excited to see what else he has for us. He said some hats are on the way. I think some hoodies.
Yeah, I think he said a hoodie.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is so cool. And we'll just say too, Michael, truly from being on live with you on Instagram and just kind of talking to him and hearing your heart, we can tell that you're really a man of God and that you love Jesus. And so that's what's most important to us. Is we don't do this for the clout. We don't do this for the, the recognition. We just do it for Jesus. And that's it. And so that's what you're doing your entire clothing brand on is just for his name to be known. For people to have this shirt on and people to see this name.
No Jesus saves.
Yeah. And so that's just so important to me. And so we're excited to partner with you and see where that takes us. And we got plenty of other partnerships coming along the way, and we'll be talking about those, on other episodes.
Has been killing it with that.
Oh yeah, Brandon's the plug
partnership
on that. So he's been killing it.
I see these brands, and I'm like, man, their clothing is a walking billboard for the gospel. And so I see that, and I'm like, man, we need to partner with these guys and get their vision out and get the gospel out. And if it can be through a piece of clothing, man, what an easy way to spread the gospel.
Oh yeah, it's a conversation starter for sure. People ask you, where'd you get that shirt? Or, man, I like that shirt. And then immediately it's like, oh yeah, I got this from, So it's pretty cool. But yeah, so and shout out.
Seekers
shout
Point,
them out?
Yeah. Shout out to Seekers Point. That is our home church. They are they allow us to come and film here anytime that we need the place. Shout out to Pastor Dacy and Pastor Mike for just letting us use all their equipment as well. y'all are awesome. Thank y'all so much.
Yeah, we appreciate it. So,
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and dive into what we're going to be talking about, and we want to tell you guys real quick as well that this season is going to be a little different on how we run our podcast and how we do things, which is going to be exciting. But there's we're gonna be trying different things, doing new things, so that you guys it can be engaging for the listener.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to give that heads up to whoever is listening. So, but let's talk about building strong relationships in God's kingdom. What are kingdom connections, and how do you invest in the right ones? Is what I want to ask you guys, just to kind of open up.
Well, I mean, it's really just in the name, kingdom connection. It's anyone that's doing anything to promote or push the gospel forward in any kind of area, whether you're on the mission field or whether you're doing a clothing brand or whether you're doing a podcast. If you guys are all if you're in an agreement with somebody has the same mindset and the same goal to push the gospel forward, then in a sense that's your kingdom connection.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what it is to me.
Yeah. I think about kingdom connection, immediately the word king stands out, and we know that Jesus is the risen king.
Right.
Yeah.
And anyone who's following Jesus as king is a part of the kingdom. And, what I love about this platform and, other platforms is that we're not trying to make our name known.
Yeah.
We're trying to make the king's name known.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think being in line with the king and saying, Jesus, we want to make your name famous.
Yeah.
And we want to do whatever we can to partner with other people that are doing the same thing, that have the same goal. I think that is a true kingdom connection.
Yeah. I think this podcast itself, I just want to say to the listener, it's a kingdom connection. You kind of spoke on it. So if you weren't at church or at our church on Sunday, Brandon spoke this last Sunday and he killed it. He did an amazing job, but he talked about a table at the end and talked about Mephibosheth and how he comes to the table and he has the opportunity to sit with these holy people, not holy people, but royal people is what I mean. Yeah. And he's sitting with the royal people and he has that seat all the time. Right. I want to let the people know that you have a seat here. This is your opportunity to hear about God. When you come and listen to this podcast, it's your invitation to sit at the table with us. And this table isn't about who's at the table. It's about what this table represents, and that's Jesus. Yep. And so when I think about kingdom connections, when it comes to Jesus, this podcast itself is a kingdom connection when it comes to God, when it comes to Jesus and what we live for. It's not about the clout and what we're chasing after on, streaming platforms and YouTube and all these things. Yeah, that would be great for him to grow this platform, but that's not why we're doing it. We're doing it because we want people to hear the name of Jesus and that he literally saves. No pun intended. Yeah. But for real, that is the goal of this podcast. So for me, if you are listening, yes, Kingdom Connections is people getting involved in your local church. But the way that we invest in the right ones is, don't just give away your dream to anybody. Don't just talk to anybody about your life. Just make sure that you are discerning who it is that you're talking to, that you're having a relationship with, Right. Is this person for me? Are they not against me? Do they talk behind my back? Do they, are they loyal to me? Do they, when you think about godly connections, the people that have godly connections and that you have godly connections with, what is their character like? Because whatever their character is like, it should be like Jesus. Yeah. And if it's like Jesus, it's probably the right one that you should be investing in. Yeah. So, but I'll read Matthew 18:20. It says, "For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there I am with them." And I love this verse because we use this verse all the time when we're praying and we talk to people, because people say sometimes, I just don't feel God in this moment. No, He says, his word says that when 2 or 3 are gathered, he is in the midst.
Yeah.
He is there. And so that is super important to remember. But I'll read Ecclesiastes 4, 9 through 10 as well. 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who fails and has no one to help them up.
Right.
So I love that verse too, because it immediately off the rip, it kind of reminds me of Adam and Eve. 2 is better than 1.
Yeah.
Adam was made, but he saw that he needed a helpmate.
Right.
Off rip, he said he needs someone. He needs someone to do life with. Obviously, he had God, and he was walking with God. And when we have God, you don't really need anything else.
Right.
But to do life, you do need someone next to you.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know, that was part of my message on Sunday was, you know, God said it wasn't good for man to be alone.
Yes.
And he created Eve. But, you know, one of the reasons that God created Eve wasn't just so that Adam would have a helpmate,
Right.
but it was so that in the earth, the image of God could be shown.
Right.
Right. Because alone, we can't bear his image.
Right.
We have to have community to bear his image. Right. And it's the same reason that Christ left the church.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't just take the church up whenever he went, you know, to heaven.
Yeah.
But he left the church on earth so that we could show the rest of the world that's lost what his design and his purpose and the design that the designer,
Yeah.
right? They can see God through the church.
Yeah.
So and it's super important, you know, that we have relationship with one another. Like we can say all day long, you know, God is loving, but if they don't see us loving one another, then it's just words.
Yeah.
Right? If we could say Jesus forgives, but if the world doesn't see us forgiving one another, then it's just words, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And nobody cares about your words. People want to see your actions.
Yeah.
Right.
I think no. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
actually heard it's George Jenko. I don't know if you know who that
I was
is.
literally just thinking
I
him
know
a second
Micah
ago.
does.
Oh, George Jenkins.
But
Awesome.
George Jenko, he's a huge Christian right now, and obviously he has his flaws and just some of the things that he may be saying. But he said something the other day, and I heard it off of TikTok, and it was preach about God your entire life, and then when you need to, use words. And I was like, wow, I ain't never heard that before. And it's, you know, and it's showing that all you have to do really, in a sense, is show God through your actions. You know, if you have like the mindset of going, okay, I'm going to try to be Christ-like, and I'm going to try to do what God says in his word, then people are going to see that. People are going to go, man, I want something that Curly has. I want that same thing that Pastor Brandon or Micah or even Dylan have.
Yeah.
I want that. And they're gonna crave that. You could talk to someone about Jesus and about God all their life and try to preach at him and do something, but they may not grab it.
Yeah.
You know, it's all through your actions. And so when he said that, you know, preach about God your entire life, but when you need to, use words. I was like, man, that's so good.
Yeah. I think it's important to remember that, because a lot of times we're preaching the word, but, you know, a lot of people hear the word, like we say all the time. They hear it 1,000 times, but then one day they might hear it.
Right.
They might really hear it, and they might really grab it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it's not from a word. It's from someone just being an example in front of them.
Yeah.
And then that's how they go, oh, you know, like, I wish I was more like that.
Right.
Why is it that Brandon's like that and I'm not? You know, and then they crave it and they want it, and they're like, what is it that they have that I don't?
Right.
And then that's where it all changes.
I remember being 16 years old and giving my life to Christ, and I don't remember the message that was preached. I don't remember the songs that were sung.
I know.
But I remember right afterwards, you know, my small group leader was like, hey, you want to go catch a baseball game? And he took a punk 16-year-old kid and went and sat and watched a baseball game with me. And that, to me, was bigger than any message I ever heard. And that stuck with me. That somebody was investing in me.
Yeah.
You know, John Maxwell, he said this. He said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You know,
That's good.
And
That's a bar.
the truth is, people want to see.
Right.
that you're living what you say.
Yeah.
You know, people will hear what you say, but they'll remember what you do.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I think witness. It's we're always pushing. Hey, watch your witness. Watch what you do because there's people watching you.
Yeah. More than you think.
More than you think. Brandon has an amazing youth group, and me, Micah, and Dylan, we have an honor to be a part of that and help lead that. And then me and Micah also do a small group for Face of the ministry that we work for.
Yes.
And we're always telling them, hey, watch your witness. Watch what you're doing in front of other people. Watch what you do in front of people at your school because they're watching you. They're waiting for you to slip up and mess up so they could go, oh, hey, I thought you were going to Face It on Wednesdays or Tuesdays, or I thought you were going to youth, and I thought you were a big church guy, but you're over here, using profanity.
Yeah.
And so it's you always have to watch out what your witness is doing.
Yeah.
That's why, growing in my faith and what Micah's brother, Stephen, when he was investing in me, it was always, hey, watch your witness. Hey, watch your witness.
Yeah.
People are watching you.
Watch what you say, watch what you do.
And it's not in a sense of like, oh, I don't really care what people think of me. It's you don't have to care what people think of you.
Yeah.
But still, like, live your life with some honor.
Yeah.
Am I making sense?
Yeah, yeah.
And
No,
so
absolutely.
And I guess that's all I really wanted to say.
Yeah, no, it's honoring God with your life out of obedience.
Right.
That's
it. That's what I wanted
really
to say.
what it is. Is some people it's not like you just put a quarter in there. No.
Anytime I say something good, I'm just gonna drop something in there.
But like what I wanted to say with that, because you were kind of hitting on the fact of you see things in people. You can kind of see God through people. And a lot of people say, where's the evidence of Jesus? Where's the evidence of God? And I hear that thing all the time. Is this, you don't have evidence that God's real. You don't have that. And the thing is the evidence is all around us.
Yeah.
Right. All of creation.
All of creation itself is the evidence that God is real, that he is tangible, that he is in front of you, right? I mean, not just from people's words and how they talk to you, or it's about how you live your life.
Right.
And that's what shows you that God's real.
Right.
And that's how you see that things can be changed in your life, because you're like, okay, why do I do these things, and why does this person do this way? And they're, I know that they're a Christian, but like I believe in God, but I don't really have an understanding of who he is. And then they start questioning that, and there's a reason because of this, because God is speaking to them not through words, but through someone's actions.
Right.
And then that's just so powerful.
I think that's why discipleship is so huge.
Yeah.
If you're doing any kind of service in your church, or if you're serving, and if you're looking for a discipleship, for someone to pour into you and talk and speak life into you, I highly encourage that, because in that's where you're able to see the person who's helping you and in a sense mentor you.
Yeah.
You're able to see how they're living and how they're acting, and go, man, this is how it should be done.
Yeah.
He's doing what the word says to do.
Yeah. I think intentionality is so important. Like you were saying, Brandon, that guy took you to a baseball game.
Yeah.
Just doing that.
Right.
It shows someone that, oh, this person cares.
Yep.
Like this person actually cares about who I am and what I do with my life. And like I tell young leaders and people all the time, if you just invest just a little bit of your time, I know you're busy. I know you got a lot going on, but if you would just invest a little bit into someone else's life, it'll go a long way.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Jesus
such a long
invested
way.
in 12 people.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a whole grand scheme of people, but it was really just 12 people that he invested in and poured into and taught all these things. And then whenever he left, they went out and started doing the same things that they were watching.
Oh yeah.
And so it's
The greatest pyramid scheme.
Yeah, literally. Hey, but real quick, before we even move on to the
we
next
kind of went down a little rabbit trail.
Yeah, no, that's good. But I wanted to ask y'all this
Ask it.
because this is relevant right now.
Okay, hit it.
What'd y'all think of that Jesus commercial at the Super Bowl?
I think it's wrong.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what you had to say too.
You talking about the Super Bowl commercial?
So, for one, Jesus didn't wash everybody's feet.
Right.
There you go.
He washed his disciples' feet.
Right.
And, this whole cultural thing of we've got to affirm everyone's sin. We've got to accept everyone's. Jesus didn't do that.
No.
Right.
If Jesus would have just accepted everyone's sin and everyone's flaws and everyone's faults and everybody's hang-ups, he would have never been crucified.
That's what I was thinking in my head. So
Jesus was persecuted, and the reasons he went through that was because he stood for righteousness.
Right.
Yeah.
And even with the woman caught in adultery, Jesus didn't say, it's all right, go on and keep on doing what you're doing,
Right.
go on, shack up with the next man.
Yeah.
No, he said, woman, where are your accusers? And he was the only one that could have
Right.
thrown a stone.
Right.
He was the only one that could have stoned her.
Yeah.
Because he was the only one that was without sin.
Yeah.
And yet he said, woman, neither do I accuse you.
Yeah.
Go and sin no more.
Yeah.
Right.
So good.
And people want to just skip over that.
Right.
Yeah.
I
They
heard someone talk about the other day on the commercial, and it was this girl who I guess is a huge Christian. I didn't really look into like her TikTok or anything, but like it popped up, and she was talking about the commercial and how as a Christian she's for it, and she was like Jesus, he washed his disciples' feet and he washed his followers' feet, and then she like went into this thing about Zacchaeus, how he went to Zacchaeus' house. And I was like, yeah, he went to Zacchaeus' house, but he didn't wash his feet.
yeah, no.
Zacchaeus wasn't a follower right there.
No.
And so in the commercial where they're showing all these different like people and like
Cultures,
different kind of
yeah.
walks of life, and I think they had a good idea on it, but they missed it. They
Yeah.
missed the point.
Oh yeah.
It could have been so much better.
Right.
Oh my gosh. They missed the point big time.
But it's having to cater to everybody
Yeah.
and go, Jesus accepts you for this. He loves you, but there's love and truth as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He loves you, but he doesn't love your sin.
Right.
As the number one thing that people get confused, this is why the American church right now is so blasted with this, is it's grace preaching.
Right.
Is this
Yeah.
Jesus loves you even though you sin? No. He loves you for who you are, but he doesn't love your sin.
Right.
He wants you to be clean of sin. He calls you to be clean of sin, and
I'm sick of this greasy grace.
I know, man. It's like
it
I
is.
can't take it,
But
dude.
it's also it's people that say, what is it? Hate the sin, love the sinner. You never see that anywhere.
Yeah.
If you could give me that verse right there, then it'll completely change my mind. But it's exactly kind of what you were saying, Mike, going off of what you were talking about, how it's Jesus loves you, but he hates your sin.
Yeah.
And so I think that's so good, just what you were just saying.
Yeah. He loves everybody. That's what people get confused. Love doesn't mean that he has to, accept, the things that you're doing. That's like me, discipling a student, and they come and tell me, oh, I want to grow with Jesus, and I want to do all these things, and I want to, grow my relationship with God. And I'm like, okay, great, and then I'm meeting with them one-on-one, but then I find out that they're sleeping with their girlfriend every week. Well, then I'm going to tell them the truth. The truth is that's sin, and you can't be living that way if you're going to be walking in, that's the truth. So, but grace would, the justification of what that commercial says is that you can still walk with Jesus but sleep with your girlfriend and live with your significant other if you're not married.
Right.
That's what that's basically saying to people, is that Jesus, no matter what, will still wash your feet. And that's wrong. I'm just letting everyone know that's listening. That's not it.
Yeah, Jesus said, if you desire to be one of my followers, he said, you've got to deny yourself.
Deny yourself.
Take up your cross and follow me. So
Yes.
we preach this gospel of, it's all inclusive, and you can come as you are and stay as you are.
Yeah.
And you can come as you are, right? I'll never turn somebody away because of their sexual preference, or I'll never turn anyone away because they smoke or drink or party or whatever. Like, come.
Right.
But you're eventually going to have to confront your sin.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're going
Your
to
sin
have
will
to
find out.
take that into to the place of the cross and say, you know what, Jesus died for this sin, not so I can continue in it. Paul talks
conquer
about
this.
Paul talks about this in Romans chapter 9, that you don't continue in your sin, but you're no longer a slave to your sin. So you've got to, die to that old nature and have a new nature in Christ.
Right. And I like what you said, deny yourself, pick up your cross, and then follow me is what Jesus was saying.
Yeah.
And you can't pick up your cross and then deny yourself.
Yeah.
You have to go in that order. You can't have one without starting at the very first one, which is denying yourself, which means denying your flesh, denying what your fleshly self wants. And then you got to go, okay, I'm denying what my flesh wants. I'm denying watching what everyone else is watching, and so in that, now I'm picking up my cross. I'm picking up my cross, and then now I could follow Jesus.
Yeah.
You can't just skip over the two and then the last one.
Yeah.
There has to. That's why it's in that order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you got to deny yourself, pick up your cross, and then follow him.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right.
But good. Cool. Well, we're gonna kind of move on to something new.
Let's just get back into our actual main topic.
No, I love this. This is good. This is good talk. But let's go ahead and you want to kick off
Yeah,
this?
so we're doing a new segment.
Go ahead.
This new segment, guys, is we're just going to do rapid fire questions, just so you guys, the listener, you'll get to know our hosts better and just kind of
Connect.
See the way they think and they're wired, and
You can connect.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
no.
we're gonna do some rapid fire questions.
And they're just random questions, right? It's not like
go random. Just
So back and forth or just one at a time?
I'll do
Yeah.
curly Micah, and then
okay.
until we're just like, all right, that's
Okay.
enough. All
Okay.
right. Who's ready? You ready, Curly?
Go.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Can you do an impersonation of anyone?
Do it right now. Do it right now. I know which one you
Mike
can't
has
do
already
it.
know what yeah, I can do Patrick Mahomes pretty well.
Let's hear it.
All right, you ready? This is Patrick Mahomes.
Go
It
ahead.
was right after the Super Bowl. The confetti's falling on him. Coach Reed walks up to him. And no, actually, the interviewer walks up to him, and they go, "Hey, Patrick, how was the game?" And he's gonna go, "Well, guys, the game was really good. Coach Reed called this play, and Trav was just wide open over there at the end, so I just tossed it up in the air to him, and Trav went, ding, hum, 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 hum." I feel it, or Kermit the Frog. It can be either
or
or.
either one,
They're synonymous.
Yeah.
All right, Micah, for you. Have you ever been in a food fight?
Yes.
You have?
Dude, we threw glizzies at each other at at church at youth, remember?
I was not a part of that.
Yes, you don't even act
I
like
was
you
not
weren't.
there that night,
bro.
I wish.
We literally had them. We were slinging them at each other in there, bro.
Don't say.
Nah.
say
Like hot dogs, bro. Oh my god, bro. He made it
All
like
right,
that.
Curly.
Oh my god.
How many pair of sunglasses do you own?
One.
Okay.
Oh, okay, it was rapid.
Micah.
I thought this was supposed to be rapid.
Rapid.
Come on,
What
man.
promises have you broken?
Promises.
What promises have you broken?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. It's been a long time since I broke a promise.
That's a loaded question.
Yeah,
man.
that is a loaded question.
Have you ever broke a promise?
I have broke a promise. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
None
But I
comes-
can't. I
none
can't
comes
think
to
of
mind?
any right now. Like.
No, I'm going
All right, Curly. Does death scare you?
No.
Cooking.
All right. Micah, would you swim with sharks?
No. No.
Curly, what would your perfect day be?
Perfect day. Ooh.
Some,
I mean-
sunflowers.
Well, I mean, the new Apex season just dropped. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that's true.
No.
Brandon knows exactly what that is.
Wake up. I get to sleep in a little bit. Wake up. Play
Wake
the
up
game.
twice. You wake up twice.
No, I might wake up, take a nap, and wake up again. No, I really like what I do for just my job for Face It and all. I love doing that and speaking into kids' life, and then probably go home, play some more video games, and then do small group later.
And your wife falls in there.
Somewhere.
She's all around. She's all around.
Somewhere she's in there.
She's all in there.
I was waiting on him to say it.
No. No, Kristen is there the entire time.
Okay. all
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Nice-
She's playing
nice
a-
safe.
Nice save.
Thanks, guys.
Micah, do you prefer sunrises or sunsets?
Sunset.
Okay.
Man,
Curly,
grow up.
what puts a smile on your face?
Seeing Daisy.
My wife puts a smile on my face.
There we go.
All right.
Riz.
Micah, what makes you proud?
Makes me proud.
Mm-hmm.
The boys,
Me.
the guys we've been discipling,
Ooh.
they make me proud.
Good one.
Curly, would you rather be hated or forgotten?
Hated.
Cook.
Micah, do you know how to use a compass?
Yeah, I do.
I'm be honest, I don't.
What?
Curly, do you like hot weather or cold weather better?
Hot.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
No, you can't explain why it's rapid fire. Keep going.
Micah, have you ever slept outside?
Yes.
Curly, what's your favorite movie quote?
You should ask that to me.
Favorite movie quote. Oh, from Napoleon Dynamite.
Let's hear it.
Do it.
You think I could throw a pigskin a quarter mile?
Toonie, you fat lard. Come get some dinner.
Micah, what do you think about science? Cool, nerdy, or creepy?
Nerdy.
Creepy.
Creepy. Why would I think it's creepy?
Curly, do you feel very protective of anything?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, I have to explain. My wife.
Okay.
Dang. Now you're throwing her in there a lot.
Yeah.
Good job.
Micah, are you a drama king?
Yes. Bro, Micah is the most dramatic person I know.
How?
Let him answer the question.
No, I am not.
All right.
If anything,
further-
it's
further-
him, and it's definitely Steven.
Curly, have you ever been in a fist fight?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was there
Not
for that.
proud of it.
Micah, have you
There's
ever
BC
wielded a
Curly.
sword?
Wielded a sword?
The
No.
answer's no. I can tell you that one.
What?
Is this the last one?
Give us two more.
All right,
Or give us
last
one more each.
What's your most used word, Curly?
Ooh.
Cooking.
I would say cooking. Cooking's a good one, right? It's pretty fluent in my vocabulary.
Right now. Ooh, that boy cooking.
All right. Micah, last one. What trait do you deplore in others?
Deplore.
That's a big word.
Hate, like you hate it.
Oh, hating others. Disloyalty.
Disloyalty. Okay.
There we go. That was good. I like that. That was good.
Yeah, you like that segment?
That was good. I like that.
I like how we're doing the segments, but it's like, we're going off this like huge like
Like shift
big
or
kingdom
something.
connection talk
Yeah.
and then just straight into random questions.
Well,
But I mean, I like it. I want to see.
If you want to connect with somebody, you got to know the way they think. You got to really
That's good, B.
Good save. No, no, I'm just kidding. No. Yeah, so I mean, if you are listening to this, we are going to be doing this a little more often, just so that you guys can connect with us more and
Know a little bit more about us.
yeah, engage.
get. If you have
engage.
questions, drop them in the comment section. You got something you want to know, or
Or if you got a
wondering?
segment for us,
Yeah.
hey, why
We're
not?
open.
We're open to anything. So, but let's move on. Let's talk about kingdom friendships and what qualities should we look for in kingdom friendships for you guys? What's the number one thing you look
Man,
for?
for me, it's somebody who has a fire for the Lord, man. If you're
Yeah.
not passionate about Jesus,
Right.
and you're not pursuing Him, and it's not evident in your life that you're pursuing Him, then, man, I don't know if I really want to connect with you and do life with you.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's a season and a time and a place for pouring into somebody, but I'm talking about somebody that's gonna run alongside of me.
Yeah.
They've got to have a fire that's
Yeah.
greater or equal to my own.
Yeah. That's I think it's super important to have people that are not only have the same mindset, but when it comes to walking with God, walking with Jesus daily, but it's people that like push you to go further.
Right,
You
yeah.
know. To always have this like, man, you can grow with Jesus even more than you already have, You can talk to, they encourage you to talk to others about Christ. They,
Right.
because that's been I feel like that's such a dead thing in Christianity now is, in your everyday life of
Yeah.
going to the store and being at, the gas station or being at your job, people just don't talk about the Lord ever. And so it's like, for Christians, you know, if you are listening, I always encourage Christians, young people, whoever it is, to not only live the word, but if you are living the word and that's not getting to people, find the opportunity to ask them questions, you know? And if you are living for God, they will sometimes start asking you questions, right? They're gonna, you know, I used to work at PJ's right out of high school. When I started working there, it was like, I mean, man, I was so different compared to all these other people because their lifestyles, the way they were living their lives. And so, and not that I was any better than them, but it was the way I was living my life was completely different from these other people. And so I remember I was sitting in the university's PJs. Yeah. And I was in the back. I was baking muffins. And
The muffin man.
I was the muffin man, baby. I was sitting there baking them. And I remember these two girls, they were in there and they were talking about how they smoke weed on the weekends. And so I was like, this is just a conversation that I am not, like, I don't have any say in, you know? And so I'm just sitting there and I'm kind of on my phone and I would just put my phone up. I just sit there and I'm waiting for them to bake or whatever. And they're just talking, right? And they look back at me and they're like, hey, Micah, you know, you smoke weed? And I was like, no, I've actually never done that before. And they were like, what? They were like, you've never smoked weed? And I was like, no. And they were like, aren't you like 22? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, that's not normal. And I was like, it's not? What? This is news to me because I feel like it's normal for you to not smoke weed. And I feel like it's so like backwards nowadays is that it's normal to sin. It's normal to do things in the world, you know? And so when people hear you, you haven't done what they've done, they go, you're weird. You know, that's weird. That's crazy, you know? And I told him, I was like, I've never puffed anything. I've never drank any alcohol. You know, I've never done any of these things. And I said, it's not because I think I'm better than everybody else. It's just, I just feel like it's not for me. I don't have a desire to do those things. And I feel like it would only hurt me more than benefit me, you know? And I was just saying those things to them. I remember them kind of like, just like taking a step back and going, what the heck is this? You know, but then it was my chance to go, well, this is why I do it. And it was my chance to like talk to them about what I believe in, you know? And then they would tell me like, you know, oh, well, I believe in Jesus and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, but what's after that? You know, we can believe in God and, you know, and we can talk about him, but do we actually live his word, you know? And they didn't, you know, I didn't say the prayer with them right there and they accepted Jesus or anything, but it was my chance to plant a seed, right? And just to, out of what I was doing and saying, they were able to hear the gospel and just a smudge of something, you know? And so I always encourage other people, other believers that find your opportunity to step out and say, hey, you know, I believe in this and I'm not ashamed, you know? I always think of, you know, the rappers that are in the 116 rap group, they always say, I'm not ashamed of the gospel, right? That's why we rap about it. That's why we talk about it in our songs. And so, you know, if they can do that in a song, you can do it in your everyday life, you know? And so I say the same thing as I'm not ashamed of the gospel, you know? And so, but dude, where was I even going with that? I don't even know where I went with that.
Bro.
I think I was just talking about the fact that
I don't even remember the question.
The question was how can we No. It was what qualities do we look for in a friendship?
Oh, how'd you get there?
I don't know. That's my thing. I was like, how did I get there? I think that's how I got there. It's people that you want in your life push you to do these types of things.
Right.
You want people that tell you to, you know, do these types of things. Be an example for others. You know, promote Jesus in people's lives. That's where I was going with that. Lost my train of thought. Thanks, man. But anyways, so I mean, I think the one thing that I look for, like you said, people that obviously, you know, call you higher. Right. But I would say another thing is people that are loyal. People that are going to have your back, no matter what. That they are going to say what you need to hear. You know?
I was just about to say that. I think, you know, a friend that's going to tell you the truth, whether it's going to hurt or not. You know, it's someone because that's when you'll know that someone actually loves you.
Right.
You know, and obviously there's a way to do it in love and tact and all that stuff, but you want someone that's always, like what Brandon said, is it's always going to have a passion for Jesus. And then what Micah said, that someone that's going to push you, but also someone that's going to be loyal and tell you the truth, even when it's going to suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bible says, faithful are the wounds of a friend.
Right.
You know, because a friend will hurt you.
Yeah.
But they'll do it out of love.
Yeah.
Right? You know, I can come to Curly and say, Curly, you know, you probably shouldn't talk to your wife that way.
Never.
You should
tell her this.
You should probably stay home and turn the video game off and just love on your wife all night.
No, we have a good system. Hold on. We have a good
You got
system.
a good balance?
But a friend will tell you not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear.
Yes.
And that's the wounds that are true good wounds, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are good hurt. There's a good hurt that leads to life.
Yeah. And I think if you just have those three, man, I mean, your friendship's kind of set for life. That's when you'll have a friend for life in that.
Yeah.
But
Okay. So, but the next thing I kind of want to talk to you guys about is mentorship.
Yeah.
And guidance and having people in your lives. So how can we find mentors that help us grow in our faith?
It's finding people that are always going to keep you accountable, and kind of steering back of what we were just talking about with the type of people and type of friends you want in your life. It's going to have the people that are going to keep you accountable, the type of people that are going to have a passion for Jesus, and the type of people that are going to tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so, and in a sense, it's someone that's usually older, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's like, for me, like I have a few mentors. I have, Pastor Steve, who's Micah's dad. I have his brother Stephen, who has invested in me since I was 14 years old.
Yeah.
Now I'm 26, and I used to live with him. I used to, now we work together, and in a sense, he's my boss, but also my best friend. Pastor Brandon, and then Pastor Mike, and then Pastor Dacy, and then Brandon's brother Justin. Just those people right there. Those are huge role models in my life. And those are the people when I know, hey, I'm struggling right now, I could call any of them up at any time, and they're gonna answer. Or if I need, if I just have a question about something, I could call them up and go, hey man, I don't know how to answer this.
Yeah.
I could always go. Those are the type of people I could always go to, because I know they're always going to have a passion for Jesus. And I know they're always going to tell me the truth, even when it hurts sometimes.
Yeah.
And they're always going to keep me accountable and ask how I'm doing.
Yeah.
And push me to continue to live the way that I live.
That's good. Yeah. And I think it's so important to realize that being a part of godly community is super, super important as a Christian. I was actually sitting at the barbershop yesterday, and this guy I was waiting to get a haircut, just a fade, because I really need it right now.
Let me see.
No, I didn't get it because I didn't have time. But he told me, he was sitting there, and they were joking around, the guys that are, Noah and a bunch of other guys were joking around. And the guy, shout out Noah, yeah.
Bearded barber.
Yes, my boy.
Boy, line me up.
One day he'll get me lined up eventually. But so the guy sitting next to me, he's an older guy. He's probably in his 30s,
Jeez. If y'all don't know, Brandon's 36 or 37.
He might have been older than 30. I don't know. But he was sitting next to me.
So funny. Y'all think that's old.
I didn't mean to say it like that.
Brandon.
But anyways.
Boomer.
Stop. But anyways, he's sitting next to me, and he said, he looked over at me, and he was he asked me, how much I weigh, because they were all talking about their weight or whatever. And he said, I was I weigh 145, and he was like, dang, I weighed that much. And so then he started asking me some questions. He was like, where do you go to church? And blah, 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 because I mentioned church. And I was like, oh, I'll go to Seeker's Point, and,
Shout out.
Yeah. And so, and he was like, oh, that's so great. He's like, I actually, I worked I did construction on the Sonic right next to it. And he said, someone invited me there one time. And I was like, well, did you go? And he was like, nah, I haven't really been in a long time. And I was like, well, you should check it out, you might like it, And so, it's one of those things where I immediately was I had my chance to talk to them about God, but at the same time, it was I didn't minister to him But I'm trying to tell him, hey, get connected,
Right,
get connected in
Planting some
community.
seeds.
Yeah,
Right.
because this is what you need, this is getting connected in godly community is helping you grow in your faith, because you find those mentors, you find those people that you're able to go to, like Curly was talking about. And that's how I found mine, even obviously my dad's a pastor. And so I have him and, I have my brother that has discipled me along the way, but I've gained other mentors and leaders, in church, which has been, really helpful. So, but let's read Titus 2:7-8. It says, "In everything set them an example by doing what is good. In your teaching show integrity, seriousness, and soundness of speech that cannot be condemned, so that those who oppose you may be ashamed because they have nothing bad to say about us." I love that verse.
Good.
And I love the beginning because we were kind of talking about witness earlier. It says, "In everything set them an example by doing what is good. In teaching, showing integrity, seriousness, and sound of speech that cannot be condemned." I love that part of the verse. It's my favorite. Is showing them is to set an example for those that are around you, right? Yeah. To the listener. This is our encouragement to you. Is don't just look for mentorship. Be the mentorship that someone else needs. Be the leader that someone else needs to see by living your life the right way. So, y'all got anything to say about that?
I think you kind of hit it on the head right there.
Hit it on the head. Okay, cool. Well, let's go ahead and do our next segment. We have one more segment for you guys, and so it's going to be called On the Clock. And so, what the segment is going to be, you guys each have 1 minute to name as many things in the Bible with one letter that I give you. So the letters that we're going to give is for you. We'll do first. Yeah, we'll do you first. You're going to get A.
Oh, what?
A. And Curly, you're going to get...
Wait, hold on. Don't tell him.
Don't tell him? Okay, yeah, because then he can think. Yeah, you're right.
Brandon's been thinking since you told him, like 30 seconds
give
ago.
me a new letter? Give me a new letter.
No, it's literally just told him.
Give him A. He's got A.
He's about to do it right now.
Start it.
All right.
He's trying to get a new
one.
one.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Adam, Apollos, Aaron.
Okay.
That's it.
Amos.
That's 4.
I thought it was Amos.
Same thing.
Doesn't count.
Oh, I know one that he hasn't said yet. I can say it right now.
I can say like 4 off the rip.
Brandon, 25 seconds in. You got 35 seconds. He's got 35 seconds.
On.
You got this.
Brandon, just say what's ever.
Come on, man.
Say what's on your mind. You're at 4 right now.
Apocryphal.
Oh, what? Okay.
Is that a name? Who is that?
It's a book.
Apocryphals?
Apostles.
Okay.
Apostolic.
Okay.
Wait.
Aramaic.
What? Now you're just naming languages, bro. No, you can't have that.
3 seconds, 2 and 1 and.
Bro, what are you talking
Okay, he
about?
got 7. We'll give him 7.
He said
He
one.
didn't count the last one.
I didn't count the last one.
What was the one that you said?
All right, you're up. You're on the clock. Apocryphal.
Where is that?
That's apocryphal books. It's the
No, bro, he's got 6. You're reaching. You got to get 6. What even? Is it in the Bible?
I think it is.
Oh my gosh. I want to see this. Hold on, because he's at 7 right now.
D, what you think?
I've definitely heard the term before.
I've heard the term.
It's a term. It's not a book, character,
or city.
Or city.
It is. Let's see. Apocrypha.
Man, he got 6, bro. Don't give him that.
It's in the King James. It says here.
Yeah,
like since the most modern editions of the Bible in reprintings of the New King James,
he didn't even say Abel.
I was thinking Abraham.
Abram.
All right, you're on clock.
And Amalekite. You didn't say Amalekite.
Yeah, no, he got 6, bro. That's not even.
Let's go.
Okay, yours is R.
Start him.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go.
Rama, Rebecca.
He got an easy one.
Come on. Y'all both got easy. Come on. Dude, the biggest R one in the world. Come on, you got this. You haven't even said it yet. Come on.
Dang, Mike. This is hard.
No way.
Dang, dude.
Dude, Brian, don't talk to me right now. Hold on. Oh, I got a thing. I hate being.
You have 2 right now, bro. Come on.
I know.
You have less than 30 seconds.
Less than 30.
Come on. Stop looking at it.
Oh man, I got so many.
Dude, so many. He's drawing a blank. Look at it.
Bro, give me a new one.
No,
R is
no,
hard,
go.
bro. R is hard.
Dude, no, it's you lost, dude. It's over. 5,
Dude,
4.
no. What? That just got
3,
ripped off.
2, 1.
I got ripped off.
Ruth. You didn't even say Ruth or Revelation.
Oh my gosh, I did it. Give me a new one. Give me a new one. Give me a new one, bro.
Deuces, dog.
All right, you know what? I got 6.
Rahab.
Yeah.
No.
You're right.
Yeah, it was
All right.
not that hard.
Run it back.
No.
We're done. Let's go.
Dang, man.
Okay, last thing.
Crown me.
Crown.
Yeah, bro.
Crown me.
Brandon had A. That's like
Yeah,
the
whatever.
easiest one.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, getting back to it. Talking about Christian community, I want to read Hebrews 10:24 through 25. It says, "And let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching." I want to ask you guys, where do you think this church struggles the most when it comes to Christian community?
I think right now the church has like this mindset or has like this weird thing, and it's always kind of bothered me, but it's like a competitive side where like churches are competing for people in the community. Like if you go to this church, then you're wrong, but if you go to this church, you're wrong. And the churches itself are pitting each other against. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. What are you smiling at?
I'm just laughing at Deuces.
I think that funny, bro. But no, in a sense, like, you know, unity as the churches, like, we all serve the same God.
Yeah.
You know, we should all be pushing each other to a local church, no matter which one it is.
Yeah.
And so there has to be some kind of unity, and I think the local church right now struggles with that majorly.
Right. I mean, you know, as long as the church is preaching the truth, and it's not a church that's preaching heresy or
right.
a cult or
That's what I was kind of going at.
Witness or a Mormon church
Yeah.
or something like that. I think if they're a Bible believing church, then they're our brother and they're our sister. No matter what body or what tribe they belong to, then they're still all a part of the body of Christ.
Exactly.
And, you know, like you said, there is this level of competition, and, you know, I'm just over the whole sheep swapping thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you were once at that church and you got offended, so now you're coming to this church, and then when you get offended here, you're going to go down to the church down the street, and then when they offend, like, what happened to the days when it was covenant? And you know what? I've got your back until I die, till they put dirt on me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it is me and you. You offend me, I'm going to forgive you. I offend you, you forgive me.
Right.
And we're going to find a way to work past our differences. But, I mean, this day and age, people are so quick to just walk out on each other.
Absolutely.
Just so quick to just say, you know what, you hurt my feelings, or you did something I didn't like, and I'm done with you, and I'm going to go find another body of believers. And, man, like, bump all that.
Yeah.
We've got to be in this for life.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's definitely something that has, I think, caused division a lot in the church. Is that, you know, like kind of Curly, like how Curly was kind of saying, the whole competing thing is my church is bigger than yours, and you know, so that means God's moving more here than there, you know, and it's like that's not how it works, you know, and so of course, you know, America has a church almost on every corner, you know, as at least in the South, you know, you can find a church anywhere, and that's how sometimes. But that's how sometimes people, they will say that they haven't been to church in a long time, and it makes me go, my goodness, you got people in other countries that literally walk to church like miles to go to church. And then here we can't even get in the car at 9 a.m. and go to church. It's sad.
Right.
But I think that's what's dead in the Christian community is that
A reverence
making
for the
it
Lord.
a priority
Right.
to get involved in godly
Yeah.
community
Yeah.
and actually like go out of your way to, I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to go to church and go there to worship God.
Right.
This is the one day out of the week that I have to get up and go to a church and like give my time to the Lord. Now, am I saying that that's the only time you should give your time to the Lord? Absolutely not. Throughout the week as Christians, we should be spending time with God.
Right.
But this is God's day. This is his day. And that's how I see it is I'm giving my time, this dedicated time for sure, that every week I'm going to go and not only spend time with God, but I'm going to be involved in godly community.
Right.
And that'll help me in my walk with God. My journey with him in faith is that I'm being involved in community.
Oh, yeah. It's sad people can sit through a football game for 3 or 4 hours watching it, or they can give 40 hours to their boss, but you say, hey, we're going to have church for an hour and a half. And they're looking at their watch, or they don't show up at all.
Right.
Or if it's a little cold outside, or if it's raining, or if something else happens. If I've got
It's not a priority anymore.
Not a priority. It's not something that even interests people anymore.
Yeah, I think it's COVID really killed it. I think COVID really took it out, like in a way that people like see church completely different now.
Right.
Is that I don't need to go; I just watch online.
Yeah.
And all this bull crap. It's like, watching online it's okay. Sometimes it's okay to do that. Sometimes you might need to.
Yeah, if
but
you have to.
Don't make it a priority to watch it online every single week because now, you might be there and you're watching in a way, but you're not surrounding yourself.
Yeah, you're taking community out from everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's a key thing in following Christ is having
being
community.
rooted, man. Being rooted. Nobody wants to be rooted anymore.
Nope.
Everybody wants.
We were literally just talking about that earlier.
They want fruit. They want all the blessings, but they don't want to be rooted somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. And the Lord, he requires us to put roots down.
Yep.
And
To labor the field.
yeah.
Yeah. It's they want the benefits of church and what it has, but they don't want to put in the work to actually get it, especially when it comes to Jesus, their faith in Christ. So, but I think that kind of wraps us up of what we...
Great segment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, too, for anybody who's listening, if you're not a part of a community, if you're not a part of making godly connections, we encourage you to step out and go somewhere, get plugged in, get rooted, and find your calling in that, because when you find other believers, it encourages you to walk with Jesus even more.
Right.
I always tell students and people all the time that, if you're planning on being a Christian and you plan on not being in community, you won't make it. I'm just being honest on here right now because I know that even me and Brandon and Curly right here, we can firmly say we're human. And if we didn't have community, we wouldn't make it.
No.
We would not make it in our faith. We would fall. We would end up messing up because, one, we don't have people around us that have the same mindset, and two, we have no accountability.
Yep.
And we're human and we have flaws, and Romans 3:23 says we have all fallen short. And so for you to stay the course and keep going and follow Jesus, you have to be in godly community.
Right.
You have to make godly connections. And that is a thing that we've been able to do with this podcast. And we are super excited for the future, for what this podcast is going to do and the people that it's going to reach. And, maybe you're listening to this and this is your first time listening to The Table. We're so thankful for you. And we hope that, this is going to be something that encourages you to walk with Jesus every single day. So, but before we end, I want to say, make sure that if you're watching on YouTube that you subscribe, you like the video, you share the video.
All platforms.
And we are on every single platform. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcast, Deezer, all of them. We're on everything. And so make sure to download.
Leave comments. If you have any questions on anything, let us know. If you want us to talk about any kind of questions.
Or any topic.
Or any segments that you may have an idea about. Definitely let us know, and we'll look into that.
We love feedback, guys. If you like the segment, say do more of this. Do whatever. We don't mind the feedback.
Yeah, and we'll have plenty of more segments coming up and more announcements of what we're going to be having planned.
We will put a link for Holy One clothing, so you can cop one of these.
Yes, yeah, and we'll put it on our bio and as well in our bio on YouTube. So if you guys want to check that out, you can. We love you guys, and we will see you on the next one.